growing up in the hood in Los Angeles and seeing so many senseless murders take place and people getting jacked, cats taking fades over nothing. Through my own understanding of natural law principles, I see that that's what's missing from the equation that will bring people forth into not committing harm or taking things from each other. It's a lack of respect for the self, first and foremost. But the more conscious you become, the more respect you'll have for not only yourself, but for other people. And see, in natural law principles, is based around the principle of care. See, if you care about yourself, you're going to care about your thoughts, what type of thoughts you're transmitting into the universe. Are these negative thoughts that I'm transmitting out there to bring back more negative into my life? Or am I transmitting more positive thoughts out there into the universe to bring back positivity? But this is not about positive and negative, because you need negative in order to come forth and come through so you can become a pillar of light to your community. There's a lot of people that went through certain situations growing up, certain amounts of violence. But the interesting thing is that everyone that I know that has came through a rough time growing up, usually if they're still living, they become such a great person in the community to helping kids and helping people in need, that it's interesting that, it's always dark before the light. It's always the darkest, as they say, the darkest before the dawn. And we actually, while doing the Secret to Ballin' movie, we interviewed, a friend of mine's, Big U, who is from LA. And we talked to him. He was actually one of the first interviews we did for the Secret to Ballin'. And we talked to him about his own journey and what he came through to get to the level he is at today, where he's helping children. He's over a football league with Snoop. And he just said he turned his life around because he figured out that he couldn't keep living his life that way, and he felt that he took so much from the hood in a negative way that he had to give back something positive, and I know his family, I know his sons, and they're all great men. And from talking to him and listening to him, actually, it's interesting how a guy that went through so much darkness has came into the light of himself to shed light in his community. And that's a great thing. But that's what's missing, is that people are not conscious enough to understand that, all rights are property rights. No one has the right to take anything from anyone. When you murder someone, you have taken their life. If you rape someone, you have taken that person's right to hold their chastity. If I harm you physically, I have taken your right to feel good in your body temple. And so on and so on. And see, when you have a basic understanding of this, you no longer will allow people to harm you as well. Because here we go again, that word care comes into place. You're going to care so much about yourself. You're going to care about yourself emotionally, first and foremost, to the point where you're not going to allow yourself to be pulled into senseless arguments and senseless behaviors at the hands of some fool, because there's some people out here that have PhDs in stupidity. And guess what? They will win every single time you participate in their stupidity, because they're fluent in it. Sure, we talked about being a fluent boss, but you got a lot of people out here that are fluent in stupidity, and they will pull you down. Be careful. And that goes for men and women. Listen, unless you care about yourself first and foremost, you can't care about anyone else. Because the principle is, you can't ever give someone something you're not giving yourself. How can I love you if I don't love me? It's impossible. How can I really truly care about you if I don't care about myself? That's also impossible. So the first thing that everyone has to pay attention to is, How much do you care about yourself? How much do you care about your growth? How much do you care about the life you're living? Do you really care what you're projecting out there into the universe and how you're being looked at and seen? If you're a parent, do you care what type of parent you are? There are a lot of people that don't even need to have children. Just keeping it real with you. Children are wonderful. They're wonderful. They're brilliant. Babies are a beautiful thing. But guess what? A lot of these parents out here, they need to be slapped up. Because what they're doing is they're teaching their child to be tough. Because they understand that that's the only way you can survive in the hood. But honestly, true survival is consciousness. When you have a knowledge of self, there is absolutely no obstacle that you can't get around. Self-knowledge is the most important research one can partake in. Sitting still and listening to the inner faculties of yourself, because this is an inner game that produces outer things. It's not outer things that produce inner things, but in a lot of senses, the imagination can be enhanced or stroked from outside things that you see around you. They will inspire you. But everything begins and ends from within. The problem in the streets is that people don't have enough self-knowledge. They haven't been told that consciousness is the name of the game. Most people don't know about natural law principles. They don't know that, breaking the law, the natural law, is a transgression, which also means theft. A transgression of natural law is theft. Theft. Once again, if I shoot you, murder you, I have taken your life. That's a form of theft. Rape is theft. Molestation is theft. Any harm you're causing to another person, you don't have rights to do that. Everyone is their own sovereign being. They have property rights. You have a right to feel good and do what it is you may. No one is supposed to ever take that away from you. You're also supposed to protect yourself. If you're in harm's way, if you care enough about yourself and you see harm coming, guess what? You're going to get out the way, or you're going to protect yourself according to what is taking place. That's why the principle of care is the most important principle to look at for yourself. Begin to care about yourself. Love yourself. But caring about yourself is what will bring you forth. When you care about yourself, you'll do enough research to become a better person, to become more valuable maybe at your job or in your community. You have to care. If you're going to help people, you have to care about them. Elijah Muhammad said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Think about that. Walk with that one today. This is Kenyatta of Hip Hop Motivation. I hope this helped you on your journey. Stay positive. Look beyond the obstacle, but stay in the now. Stay in the now. Remain in the now. Handle what you can handle right now. Stop tripping off the future, and definitely stop tripping off the past. Stay in the now and do what you can. Don't trip off of the things to come. Trip off the things that are in front of you. Do what you can do today. All right? Peace. Enjoy the journey. What's happening? It's the big homie Kenyatta. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube page. And if you haven't already, hit the notification so you can get an alert each and every time our hip hop motivation videos come up. And also, thank you for your support. Peace and blessings. Listen, for mad years I walked around with my neck looking like a Nestle Crunch bar. I had to do something about it. What I found is that a razor bump is nothing but an ingrown hair that curls into the skin and causes the skin to become enlarged or inflamed, making it look like a bump. But it's not a pimple. It's a hair that grows into the skin causing inflammation. You have to remove that hair, and then you have to use yourself a nice skin astringent, something that can do the trick, something that can get rid of those razor bumps. So what did I create? Bump Assassin, organic skin astringent. To order your own bottle of Bump Assassin, go to hiphopmotivation.bigcartel.com. Yo, you can either think of a master plan or get mastered by somebody else's plan. Check it. As a barber, one of the most important life lessons I learned is to never do anything without seeing the ending result first. Before I understood the value of seeing results, I used to waste a lot of time sometimes doing double work because I didn't have a vision of where I was going. Then I started taking consultations more serious by not even turning on my clippers until I had a clear understanding of the result my client was planning to see. And in turn, it became easier to achieve the style they wanted to see in half the time. Real talk, the most successful barbers and beauticians are the ones that see the ending results before they start any service. Write this down. Before making any moves, know where you're going. Deciding from thoughts of being sick and tired of something, starting something, or admiring something can be the emotions that fuel change. Because write this down. Emotion leads to passion, passion leads to action, and action leads to results. Word up. Question: what's the number one killer of dreams? If you said fear, you're wrong. Fear is on the list, but it's not the number one killer. The number one killer of dreams is comfort. The comfort of a good paying job or in an active relationship can seduce us for many years into the rhythm of accepting things without making any moves to change, further numbing us into a state of zombie-like passiveness. Write this down. Passiveness will cause your dreams to pass you by.
When you writing a book, Dave?
I'm writing. I also have a book. You know, I have a book called Culture Vultures. Yeah,
what's it called?
It's called Culture Vultures. I did. Have you ever looked at the hip hop motivations that I do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Me and Kenyatta did a book, and it's already written. He wrote it. We done with it, and I'm also giving it out in different ways. So it's gonna be an auditory experience as well.
It's a series. The Fashion Game. Culture Vultures, the book. In business, Dame is a guy that's worn many hats.